my trusted friends. Dr. Owen and Dr. Linda are joining me in today's presentation to add depth and insight to the discussion. I hope you will enjoy it.
All right, let's dive deep into hair loss solutions today.
Sound good?
We're looking at this presentation by Dr. Barbara O'Neill.
Okay.
She's, specializes in natural health. And, she really frames tackling hair loss like putting on a detective hat.
Right.
I kind of like that analogy.
Yeah, me too.
So what do you think about that?
Well, it really emphasizes that, you need to understand what the root cause is before you even start to look for a solution.
Right.
Because a lot of times people just jump to, remedies and stuff without even thinking about why they're losing their hair in the first place.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
It's like, you have to figure out why it's happening before you can fix it.
Exactly.
I mean, Dr. O'Neill even gives some examples like she was talking about this friend of hers who was, experiencing hair loss, and it turned out that it was all because of the chemical dyes that she was using.
Right.
Which is obvious in hindsight, but maybe not something you think about right away.
Yeah, it's not always the first thing that comes to mind, but that's exactly why identifying that culprit is so key.
Yeah.
Another friend of hers was dealing with hair loss due to harsh straightening treatments.
Oh, yeah.
And until she actually stopped doing that,
Yeah.
No remedy could truly reverse that damage.
Right. It's kind of like putting a Band-Aid on a broken bone.
Exactly.
You got to fix the underlying issue first.
Exactly. And, even something like tight braiding, which might seem harmless, can cause traction alopecia.
I see.
So it's a reminder
Yeah.
that, even seemingly benign styling choices can have negative consequences.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
So we've got, chemical dyes, we've got these, heat treatments, we've got tight braid, all these things to think about.
Right.
But what about some of the less obvious causes?
Right. Well, that's where the detective work gets really interesting.
Okay.
Hormonal imbalances, for example, are often overlooked.
Mm-hmm.
Fluctuations in androgens like testosterone can impact hair follicles and, contribute to androgenetic alopecia, which is also known as male or female pattern baldness.
I have heard of that, but I don't really understand the science behind it.
Sure.
Like, how do hormonal fluctuations actually cause hair loss?
So in androgenetic alopecia, what happens is the hair follicles actually become sensitive to dihydrotestosterone, which is also known as DHT.
Okay.
And that's a hormone that's derived from testosterone. And this sensitivity causes the follicles to shrink, leading to shorter, thinner hair, and eventually no hair growth at all.
So it's not just about the level of testosterone, it's the follicle's reaction to it.
Exactly.
Okay, well, what about other hormonal shifts, like, things that happen during pregnancy or menopause?
Right. Well, pregnancy and menopause bring really significant hormonal changes, and those can definitely disrupt the hair growth cycle. Estrogen, progesterone, thyroid hormones all play a role.
So thyroid issues can cause hair loss too?
Yes, they can.
Huh. That's another piece of the puzzle I was not aware of.
Yeah, it's something that a lot of people don't realize.
So how does that work?
Well, both hypothyroidism, which is an underactive thyroid,
Okay.
and hyperthyroidism, which is an overactive thyroid, can lead to hair loss. And the reason for that is that thyroid hormones regulate metabolism.
Right.
And when they're out of whack, it can affect hair growth.
So we've got this, intricate dance of hormones happening, and it sounds like any disruption can really throw things off.
Yeah, pretty much.
What about stress? Is that a hormonal culprit as well?
So stress itself isn't a hormone, but it triggers the release of hormones,
Okay.
like cortisol. And, that can really wreak havoc on your hair growth cycle.
Interesting.
High levels of cortisol can actually push hair follicles into a resting phase prematurely. And that leads to a condition called telogen effluvium.
So it's not just a myth that stress can make your hair fall out?
No, not at all.
Wow.
Telogen effluvium is actually quite common, and stress is a major trigger.
Okay.
You might notice increased shedding a few months after a stressful event, but thankfully it's usually temporary.
Oh, okay. That's good to know.
Yeah.
But it is, a reminder that we need to manage our stress, not just for our, mental health, but our hair health too.
Exactly. It's all connected.
Yeah, it really is.
Now here's a lesser-known connection, anemia.
Anemia. I always associate that with fatigue, not hair loss.
Right.
What's the link?
Well, anemia is a deficiency in red blood cells or hemoglobin.
Okay.
And what that does is it reduces oxygen delivery to your body's tissues, including hair follicles.
I see.
And this can impair hair growth, leading to thinning or shedding.
So oxygen is crucial for healthy hair growth.
Yes,
And anemia disrupts that supply chain.
exactly.
That's fascinating. I never made that connection.
A lot of people haven't. Dr. O'Neill points out that heavy menstrual bleeding is a common cause of anemia in women,
Right.
which in turn can contribute to hair loss.
Okay.
But here's another interesting twist. Low stomach acid can also play a role.
Low stomach acid.
Mm.
I thought too much stomach acid was the problem.
Well, while excess stomach acid can cause issues like heartburn, you actually need adequate stomach acid to properly absorb iron from food.
Oh, okay.
So low stomach acid can lead to iron deficiency,
Mm-hmm.
which, as we've discussed, can cause hair loss.
So it's like a domino effect, low stomach acid, poor iron absorption anemia, and finally hair loss.
Exactly.
We've never thought about it that way.
It's a complex chain of events, but understanding these connections is crucial to addressing the root cause of hair loss.
Yeah, I completely agree.
Yeah.
Dr. O'Neill seems to be all about holistic health,
Mm-hmm.
which makes sense.
Yeah, it all comes back to taking a whole body approach.
Right.
Addressing hair loss effectively often requires looking beyond those surface level solutions and really understanding those underlying factors.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
You know,
So now that we've identified some of these potential culprits,
right.
what are some of the natural remedies that Dr. O'Neill recommends? Well,
One of her favorites is a blend of castor oil, coconut oil, and rosemary essential oil.
Do to the scalp to encourage the hair to grow again. You can make a mix that you can put on your hair. And this mix is, let's make up the mix. So half a cup of coconut oil and half a cup of castor oil. Castor oil is a very thick oil, but castor oil penetrates deeper than any other oil. So when that is put onto the scalp, it penetrates even deeper. Coconut oil is a very nourishing oil. It's an antifungal oil, antibacterial oil. But what you also can put with that, so now you've got a cup of oil there. To that cup of oil, you can add 10 drops of rosemary essential oil. Rosemary is a herb that's specific for the scalp. Rosemary essential oil. So you could make up this mix in a jar and mix it very, very well, and maybe once a week you massage it into the scalp. Your hair will be very oily, of course, but you massage it into the scalp. Just even the massaging into the scalp stimulates blood supply to the hair follicles. That castor oil penetrates very deep, and wherever it penetrates, it can revive life into that area. And the coconut also is a very nourishing oil, and the rosemary essential oil stimulates. Every herb stimulates different parts of the body, and this rosemary herb is specific for the scalp. The massaging, so leave it in as much as you can. Maybe you choose a Sunday when you may be going to be home all day. And at the end of the day, you wash out. Now you might need to put shampoo on a couple of times to get all that oil out. Just use a little bit of hot water and then...
Coconut oil provides nourishment, and it also has some antifungal and antibacterial properties.
okay.
So it helps to create a healthy scalp environment.
Right.
And then rosemary essential oil stimulates blood flow to the scalp.
Okay.
So it ensures that those hair follicles are getting ample nutrients.
So it's like a synergistic approach,
Okay.
where they all work together to kind of create a more potent effect.
That's a great way to put it.
So it's about harnessing the power of, natural ingredients
Right.
in a holistic way.
Exactly.
Okay.
Dr. O'Neill also suggests a hibiscus flower paste as a topical treatment.
Hibiscus flowers. That's not something you hear about every day.
Not really, but you basically create a paste by crushing the hibiscus flowers with coconut oil,
All right.
and you apply that to the scalp.
Okay.
Hibiscus is really rich in amino acids,
Mm-hmm.
which are, the building blocks of protein, and obviously protein is crucial for hair structure.
Right.
And then it also contains vitamin C and A,
Okay.
which are antioxidants that protect hair from damage.
So it's not just like some random flower. It's packed with, nutrients that are specifically beneficial for hair health.
Right.
And then the coconut oil kind of acts as a carrier to,
Yep.
help those nutrients penetrate.
Exactly.
Okay.
So it's simple but effective.
Exactly. You know, it really aligns with Dr. O'Neill's whole philosophy of using these natural remedies.
Yeah.
Now, here's a twist that might surprise you.
Okay.
She warns against using shampoos that contain sodium lauryl sulfate, or SLS.
SLS, that sounds familiar.
Yeah.
Isn't that a lot of shampoos? It's unfortunately, it's a very common detergent, and it creates that, foamy lather that we associate with shampoo.
Right, right.
But it can strip the scalp of its natural oils,
Oh.
leading to dryness, irritation, and even damage to the hair follicles.
So something that we think is cleansing our hair
Mm-hmm.
might actually be doing more harm than good.
It often is.
Wow. Okay, so what do we do about that?
Well, Dr. O'Neill recommends opting for natural shampoos,
Okay.
particularly those with a coconut oil base,
Okay.
because coconut oil gently cleanses, but it also nourishes the scalp.
Right.
So it helps to promote a healthier environment for hair growth.
So back to SLS, do all shampoos contain it?
Not all of them,
Mhm.
but it is very prevalent.
Okay.
So the best way to avoid it is to really read that ingredient list carefully.
Right.
Look for shampoos that are labeled as SLS-free,
Okay.
or look for shampoos that use natural cleansing agents derived from plants.
So being an informed consumer is key.
It really is.
Yeah.
It's about, taking that time to understand what we're putting on our bodies. Right. Just like we're learning to do with our food.
Exactly. Yeah, it's empowering to make those choices.
Absolutely.
Okay, so beyond the topical treatments
Mm-hmm.
and, choosing the right shampoo, Dr. O'Neill really emphasizes the importance of lifestyle factors in hair health,
Absolutely.
which makes sense.
Yeah.
It's about supporting hair growth from within.
Exactly.
So what are some of the key lifestyle recommendations that she talks about?
Well, exercise is a great place to start.
Okay.
Specifically, high-intensity interval training, or HIIT, has been shown to benefit hair growth.
Interesting. I've heard that exercise is good for circulation, but how does that specifically benefit hair?
Well, HIIT in particular really boosts blood flow,
Okay.
and that helps to deliver oxygen and nutrients to those hair follicles.
I see.
So you're giving them the building blocks they need to thrive,
So it's like giving your scalp a workout, too.
pretty much.
Okay, what else is on her list?
Hydration is crucial.
Right, of course.
She recommends a simple rule of thumb: 8 glasses of water per 100 pounds of body weight.
Easy to remember.
Yes.
But beyond water, what about diet?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What does she recommend for nourishing hair from the inside out?
Well, she really emphasizes a high-fiber diet,
Okay.
rich in, fruits, vegetables, and whole grains, because fiber helps to regulate blood sugar levels,
Right.
which can indirectly impact hair growth.
I see.
Additionally, she recommends ample protein from sources like legumes, nuts, and seeds,
Okay.
because, protein provides the amino acids, which are essential for that hair structure.
So it's not just about, trendy hair growth foods. It's about a balanced, nutritious diet overall.
Exactly. It's about,
Mhm.
giving your body what it needs to function properly.
Right.
And don't forget about healthy fats.
Okay.
Avocados, coconut oil, olive oil are all very beneficial for hair and scalp health.
I've heard that avocados are good for your hair.
Yes, they are.
But what makes those healthy fats so important?
Well, they provide essential fatty acids that your body can't produce on its own.
Okay.
And these fatty acids really nourish the scalp and hair follicles, promoting healthy growth and shine.
So we've got fiber, we've got protein, we've got healthy fats, plenty of fruits and vegetables. What else is on the menu for healthy hair?
Well, Dr. O'Neill also highlights the importance of biotin,
Biotin. Okay.
which is a B vitamin that is crucial for keratin production.
Okay.
And keratin is the primary protein that makes up your hair, skin, and nails.
Right. I've seen biotin supplements marketed for hair growth.
Yeah.
Is that a good option, or is it better to get it from food?
Well, while supplements can be helpful, it's always best to prioritize getting those nutrients from whole foods.
Okay.
Some good sources of biotin include eggs, nuts, seeds, and sweet potatoes.
Gotcha. So another reason to focus on a balanced and varied diet.
Exactly.
But beyond diet and exercise, what about other lifestyle factors?
Well, sleep is absolutely crucial.
Okay.
Dr. O'Neill stresses that 8 hours of sleep is non-negotiable for healing and hair growth.
I've definitely noticed that when I'm sleep deprived, my hair just looks dull and lifeless.
Right.
But why is sleep so important for hair health?
Well, during sleep, our bodies repair and regenerate cells,
Okay.
including those in the hair follicles.
I see.
Additionally, sleep helps to regulate hormone levels, including those stress hormones, which we know can impact hair growth.
So a good night's sleep is like a beauty treatment for our hair.
You could say that.
All right. Well, I'm sold.
Yep.
I'm going to get my 8 hours tonight.
All right.
So now let's delve into something a little bit fascinating.
Okay.
Dr. O'Neill observed that some people who consume a lot of green drinks report regaining some of their natural hair color.
Right.
Now that's intriguing. I've heard of green drinks for, overall health,
Yeah.
but never for hair color. What's the connection?
Well, she believes it might be related to the mineral content of these drinks.
Okay.
Modern agricultural practices has kind of led to depleted soil, which results in food that's not as nutrient-rich as it used to be.
So our food might not be as nutrient-dense as it once was?
It's a growing concern.
Wow.
Green drinks are packed with leafy greens, fruits, and vegetables. So they provide a really concentrated dose of vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants.
So it's possible that these drinks are replenishing minerals that are lacking in our modern diets.
Right.
Oh, okay. But how does that relate to hair color specifically?
Well, while the exact mechanisms are still being explored, we know that some minerals like copper and zinc are involved in melanin production. And melanin is the pigment that gives our hair its color.
Right. Yeah.
So, if we're deficient in those minerals, it could impact melanin production.
Interesting.
And potentially lead to premature graying.
So by increasing our intake of these minerals through green drinks or other dietary changes, we might actually be able to support natural hair pigmentation.
Exactly.
That's fascinating. It's a reminder that our hair health is really intricately connected to our overall nutrition.
It really is.
So it's not just what we put on our hair, it's what we put in our bodies.
Absolutely.
And it also highlights the importance of supporting sustainable agriculture.
Right.
Choosing nutrient-rich foods and potentially supplementing when necessary.
Exactly.
It sounds like Dr. O'Neill is advocating for a really multifaceted approach to hair health.
She is.
Addressing everything from the external factors to those internal systems.
Right. It's about understanding that, interconnectedness of our bodies and making choices that support our overall well-being, which includes having healthy hair.
Right. It's not just about chasing after, the latest hair growth fad. It's about taking a holistic approach to our health.
Exactly.
Which ultimately, reflects in the vibrancy of our hair.
Right. It's all connected.
This deep dive has really given me a lot to think about, I never realized how many factors contribute to hair health.
Right.
From styling choices to hormonal imbalances to, even the minerals in our soil.